was unsuccessful. So take as much as you want from this. Just to give you an overview, where I want to start is giving you a background to Dunbia, what we do, what resources we have, etc. Then move on to the key points of a successful application, which have already been covered in detail, but I'll just reiterate them to make sure that everybody gets the message, and then to finish off just a little bit about our project. Dunbia itself was started in 1976 by two brothers with the opening of a butcher's shop. Then in 1985, as things progressed, they opened a slaughter facility in Dungannon. And then in 1993, as the company progressed even further, they opened their first retail packing plant in Dungannon. In 2006, the company was rebranded as Dunbia. It was previously Dungannon Meats. And currently they have 13 sites in the UK and Ireland, employing approximately 4,000 people. We are the largest processor of lamb in the UK with 1.45 million lambs per year. The second largest processor of beef in the UK with 0.3 million cattle per year, and the third largest retail packer in the UK with approximately 2,000 tonnes per week. We also export a lot of beef and lamb to many countries around Europe, and we also globally export hide, skins and offal to countries like Turkey, Vietnam, China, etc. And the annual turnover is approximately 100 million. And this is just a map of the sites around the UK. So we've got 2 in Scotland, 4 in England, 3 in Wales, 2 in Northern Ireland, where the headquarters is, that's Dunbia and Dungannon, and 2 down south. So our research team at Dunbia, basically all the research that we conduct has to fit in with the strategic vision of the company. So what do I mean by this? Well, we have essentially a board of directors who sanction the research we do, and they take advice from our steering committee. So we bring the ideas to the steering committee and they discuss them, make sure that they meet the strategic vision of the company, and then sanction any work that's going to progress. So then from the group directors, we have a sponsor who takes that research project forward with the team. Now the team consists of our agriculture department, of which we have a group agricultural manager, a research manager myself, and then many research managers across our sites throughout the UK and Ireland. And essentially these research managers are conducting projects all the time on the ground or in the factory. So they know essentially what they have to do in terms of research, and then they take guidance from the team based at headquarters. We also have our governance team, and basically this team is there to ensure that all we do meets the strategic vision of the company. Also, they have a framework in place to make sure that the structure of any research is conducted in a timely manner, to ensure that we have the resources to conduct the research, and also to ensure that any monitoring back to our funders is done on time and in sufficient detail. So in terms of animal resources, in Dunbia, Northern Ireland, we have beef, lamb and pork. In Wales, we focus on lamb. In England, we again have beef, lamb and pork as we do in Scotland, and then the Republic of Ireland, we have beef. I just put that up there to really highlight that we have a good geographical spread of resources around the UK for any potential collaborative partners that aren't based in Northern Ireland but that want to take a research project forward in the area of meat quality, etc. I just put this slide in because I do feel it's a very important aspect of our business, and this is communication with suppliers. This is really the direct transfer of information from ourselves to suppliers and vice versa. Obviously we give our suppliers all the information on their weights and grades, etc. of their animals, and we also provide sufficient advice on health, nutrition, lameness, whatever it may be, to basically improve the efficiency of production of our suppliers. If we can improve the efficiency of production on farm, we can improve the viability of that business, and we can also ensure supply to us as processors. Information we get from the supplier, that's this form here in the far corner. We collect as much information as possible. and this information is stored in a database. So when we go and do a piece of research, we can actually go further back and look at the finishing systems, for example, the animals we receive have been on, the feedstuffs they've been on, and the housing type, etc., that they have been finished on, etc. So this information, again, in developing a model going forward is key to us. And this is just an example of the website. So our suppliers log on, they've access to all the information and services that we provide. So just in terms of research interests, at the minute our research interests include electrical stimulation in beef and lamb, and this is essentially around providing a more consistent product for the consumer. We're looking at some imaging techniques focusing on NIRS, and this is in beef, lamb and pork as well. And again, this is to identify the quality products and attributes that the meat has, and being able to quantify that. A big one that we have at the minute is our agricultural database. Agriculture going forward is definitely becoming data driven. Long gone are the days where farmers are looking just to progress of their own ideas and what their neighbours doing down the road. Farmers are looking for evidence and data to drive their production system forward, and it's really focused on improving again the efficiency of that system. We also have our Pig Innovation Centre up in Antrim, and this again is a very unique centre focused on research around improving the pig industry, and at the minute we're just looking at some free farming systems and space allowances in the pig production area. So again, a good facility there to do research going forward. And also a key element of our business is to improve the welfare of production systems. More and more our customers are looking for evidence that the meat they purchase has been raised and finished in an environment that is deemed to be high welfare. So in terms of the TSB application process, the aim of TSB, as we've heard, is to accelerate the economic growth by stimulating, supporting business-led innovation. And I think this is a very important statement, business-led innovation. This essentially means that we're doing applied research, that the work we're doing will be applied in industry and not just, if you like, written up in an article and published in a journal. This will be taken forward into business and applied in real terms. The TSB wants to provide support to projects that wouldn't otherwise go ahead, and this has been mentioned previously, and I think it's a very important point that for you writing an application, you have to make sure that you demonstrate that this project is unique and that it would not go ahead without the help of the guys from TSB. Another important point is that the project must match the scope of the funding call. And I've put this statement up, don't put a square peg in a round hole. If you don't fit the scope of the call, you're pretty much automatically ruling yourself out of funding. So it's important that you read in detail the scope and make sure that your project fits into that. And I've just taken the self-IP objective here as a good statement as to why we need research. At the minute we're living in an era where food security is a big issue. The global demand for food is ever increasing. To stay competitive, the UK and Ireland have to make sure that their production is efficient, that they're using the latest technologies to improve that efficiency, and that we're also reducing the environmental impact of whatever production system we may be using. So why is industry important? Well, industry-led research, I feel, is a prerequisite for productivity. And again, it's back to this point that all the research that is done is applied. If the research is applied via industry, it means that you get immediate impact within the sector. So you're not waiting on information to be taken up from research papers or from advisors that are telling farmers, etc., what to do, or businesses what to do. This research has been applied immediately because you've got the funding for the research, and now you have to, if you like, reap the rewards of doing that. So you're actually adding recoverable value, because quite often research in an academic circle, we estimate that probably 15 to 20% of that research is taken up within industry. Hopefully with this, 100% of the research is taken up and applied. It also is quite important for any business to maintain competitive advantage. And if you're doing this innovative research, you're filling a void, as you have identified in your application form, and you're giving yourself, your business, that competitive advantage. So this is reiterating what Kezia previously stated, but I think it's worth repeating. Contributing factors to a successful proposal, a good business plan, explain what the void your company is filling, explain what it is and how you're going to address it, and quantify the benefits of filling that void. So whether that be financially or through business growth or whatever, make sure you quantify the advantages of addressing that void. A good project plan, and as I mentioned, you need to meet the scope and have a viable research proposal. And I think this is where the academic partners really come into play. The academic partner will make sure that any work you do under a business-led sort of experiment will be done correctly. Whether that be experimental design, whether that be the numbers of replicates you need to do to make the data viable. If you're doing a project, you want to make sure what you're doing stands up when it comes to the end of that project. And that's where the academic partner really comes in, really improves your project plan in terms of being statistically significant when it comes to making judgments on differences between outcomes of different treatments. Also, the correct partners to achieve success. Obviously, when you're writing this application, the business partner usually is the project lead, so they will be involved in writing the application. You need to make sure that your partner is not just providing a service, but is engaged in what you're actually doing. And if you get that, you will have a successful partnership. And also, as Kezia mentioned earlier, a clear need for support. So consortium building, identifying that partner. You want a partner who's interested in your ideas. If you get a partner, as I mentioned earlier, that's just providing a service, if you have a 3, 4, 5 year length project, that partner might prioritise something else, might not do it quite as well as they should have. But if you have a partner that's interested in what you're doing, that their goals are the same as yours, they have a key drive to achieve what you want them to achieve and contribute fully to the project. We've put up here vertical integration within the consortium will ensure the most is gained from the project. What do I mean by this? Well, suppose from a starting perspective, if you have different members of that chain involved in your project, you immediately will get different viewpoints when you're writing the application form. So, for example, if you're a business like ours, meat processing, you have a very focused target of your end goal to improve your business, but also to get the most out of a study. If you have input from other stakeholders, it can actually broaden your horizons in terms of your project goals and ensure that you get the most from the money that you have been allocated. And goes without saying, ensure that your partner and consortium have the expertise to complete the project. This will be identified very quickly if they don't, but ensuring that every aspect of your project has the expertise to fulfill the goals is extremely important. And as mentioned previously, each partner should have a key role to play, an active role to play, so don't carry passengers. If there's too many partners in your consortium, sometimes you can lose the vision, sometimes you can lose the leadership in that project. So make sure you have the right number of partners to maximise success. In our project, which is focusing on improving meat quality and quantifying meat quality, we have AFBI, who are world renowned in meat science. They have multiple publications in this area, so in terms of experimental design and techniques required for the experiment, they are fully equipped. For example, such measurements as Warner Brasser shear force, the use of sensory panels and analysis of fatty acids is essential to our project, and this partner provides the tools required to achieve this. And this is just two of the team members at AFPI, Dr. Linda Farmer and Dr. Norman Galt. There are many other members, and there's one other sitting over there, Fan Fearon. Should I have your picture up here? So now moving on to writing the application. A well-written proposal is essential, and I just want to jump to the bottom. A poorly written proposal can disqualify you right away. Why make it hard for the reviewer to assess your proposal? You want to make that proposal as easy to read, as easy to follow. If there's anything to find in the proposal, make it as easy as possible. Do not create work for the reviewer, because that will just create a bad impression of your proposal and maybe bore them, tire them out, and just end up rejecting your proposal. Keep it clear, keep it easy to read, and make sure you articulate the different aspects of your proposal and project. So looking at the background, the objectives, your experimental design, whatever you're testing, make sure it's adequately addressed in terms of your partner. If it's an academic partner, the input, keep it very professional. And again, demonstrate the clear need for support, and don't forget about the benefits. You have to quantify the benefits and make sure that the reviewer knows exactly what those benefits potentially could be to your company. Provide evidence. I think this is a key one. You want to portray as far as possible that you have the expertise, that you have thought about the outcomes of this trial, you have thought about the void that you're trying to fill, you've tried to quantify it as best as possible, you've considered the risks. You really want to highlight the benefits, not only immediately, but long-term benefits. You want to make sure that the reviewer knows you've thought about this over a 5 or 10 year period and what the benefits to your company may be. And you also want to articulate the exploitation plan for those benefits. How are you going to achieve them, and how are you going to go to market to achieve your return on investment? And it's important that you quantify everything that you put into the form. Now, I just want to put up this slide and mention about the Biosciences KTN team. They're more than happy to help any business in their application. I mean, from our perspective, they've helped us greatly. They've reviewed our applications on numerous occasions, given us guidance on areas to improve, given us guidance on what we needed to do in terms of quantifying the benefits, etc. So if you have any doubts whatsoever, contact the KTN support team, and they will guide you through that application process to make sure that you're ticking as many boxes as possible. And I didn't just put that up there because I felt I had to. These guys really do a good job and help you out. It was mentioned in one of our previous talks about IP and consortium agreements. What you don't want to happen is to be offered funding and then suddenly realise that you need to get your IP and consortium agreement sorted out. This can lead to a lot of problems. It can lead to delays in your experiment starting or your trial starting. Why do you want to get it done early? You want to get it done early so each partner knows where they stand in the project. You don't want to spend all that time talking about what you're going to do and the benefits if it turns around that the partner, when it comes to getting the funding, says, listen, we anticipated more out of this project, we're going to pull out because we think we deserve a little bit more or whatever. So don't risk the project falling apart at this stage. Get your IP and consortium agreements in place to avoid disappointment. And ensure each partner gets the benefit of the partnership. You want to maximise commitment through this study or through this development. If your partner sees a goal at the end of the line, you can be sure that they will invest more of their efforts into achieving that goal. In terms of timelines, again, in the application form, you want to make sure that you demonstrate your objectives, your milestones, your deliverables, and create Gantt charts to demonstrate this. Create milestone tables to demonstrate this. So it's not only a box ticking exercise for the application form, it's a guidance for you to take the project forward. Now it's really important at this stage, and again, if it's a business-led application, the business partner will be driving the application and may think that I need X number of days for this, X number of days for that. You need to sit down with your partners and discuss how long it's going to take to do every aspect of the project. If you get that right, then you'll finish your project in time. If you get it wrong, you will incur major delays and probably not get funding past the time that your project is over. So make sure you have milestones, make sure you have deliverables, and allocate responsibility for those to members within your team. Now, from our perspective, our governance team will make sure that we regularly review this timeline and also regularly review the milestones and deliverables. So it's important that you have that structure framework in place in your application form to ensure that this is adhered to and to ensure that you don't lose track of where you are. And in fact, in our application form, we have actually a work package devoted to this very task. So there's a plan in place to make sure that the experimental plan doesn't fail. So now just onto our project, which is the online prediction of meat quality. We have three major aims. We want to develop a method to reduce the variation in pH decline currently experienced. So when an animal is slaughtered, it goes into a chill. The conversion from muscle to meat occurs and the pH of that carcass declines and the temperature also declines. At the minute there's a huge variation. If an animal experiences stress before slaughter, it uses up the glycogen in the muscle, so that is the fuel that is used to convert it into an acid to reduce the pH in the muscle. So if it's not there, the pH won't decline enough and it creates an unfavourable product for us. So we want to try, first of all, to make sure that the carcasses coming out of the chill are more uniform and the meat quality is more consistent. We want to develop a viable online measurement of meat quality that delivers data in real time. Essentially, this is the void in the market that we're trying to fill. We want to develop a system whereby we can categorise carcasses according to the quality of the meat, not just the current grading system that's in place. And overall, we want to develop a meat eating quality model. Now, this meat eating quality model will not just be based on these two things here, but will also be based, as I mentioned earlier, on the data collected at farm level and data collected throughout the system as well. So within this project, how did we ensure we are aligning with the scope of the call? Well, the first priority which we aligned with was safety, authenticity and traceability. So this was enabling quick and reliable determination of products or ingredients, country of origin, method of production, or the presence of adulterants or substituted or undeclared ingredients. What we are trying to do with our project is to identify the production method. So we're actually going to scan the meat and decipher the finishing system that that animal was on. And we can talk about that afterwards if you want to have a discussion about that. And we also want to quantify the nutritional value of the meat. So we're looking at fatty acids, we're looking at meat quality and different attributes along those lines. The modern consumer wants a product that they know is safe, and they want a product that they know has been reared in a way that is socially acceptable. So the second priority that we're looking at is production and processing of food and or nutrients, enabling the characterization, retention or improvement of nutritional content throughout the manufacturing process, for example, to maximise the nutritional value of raw materials during food processing and hence that of the finished product. Again, the consumer wants to know that the product it buys off the shelf is consistent every time, and that's an issue that we're addressing. We are also, again, as I said, quantifying the nutrient value, which is a key aim of this scope. So, I mean, that's just a very quick overview of our project and where we see the key points in developing a good proposal and hopefully a successful proposal for you guys in terms of applying for TSB money.